Assalamualaikum. How's everyone doing? So today we are on video number 8 in Healing Our Heart series. We're going to be focusing on authoritarian parenting styles in this video. So an authoritarian parent is someone who is very high and strict and rules, and they want obedience from their kids, and they're very low on emotional connection, emotional support. So there's no connection, but very high in strictness and rules. So that's the definition of authoritarian parent. And I'll give you 7 signs of an authoritarian parent so you can know if your parent was an authoritarian parent or you yourself if you are an authoritarian parent. So the 7 signs. Number 1 are very strict rules, and they want you to follow their rules without question. Number 2, it's because I said so. So whatever they say is because they said so. They don't want to give any explanation. It's only because they said so. Whatever they say, that's what goes. Number 3, high expectations. So very little room for mistakes, and mistakes are not tolerated easily. So they want you to be perfect. Number 4, punishment focused, and they focus more on what you did wrong than what you did right. Number 5, little or no emotional support. So feelings are ignored. They don't ask you how you feel or what your opinion is, or basically what you think about a situation. It doesn't matter. Number 6, children are not allowed to disagree. So if you do disagree or if you question anything, it's going to be seen as disobedience. Number 7 is that the relationship is based on fear and not love and connection. So you may see that most authoritarian kids are very well behaved. They obey, they listen, but it's not because they choose to do that out of free will or that they know that what they're doing is right. It's because they're afraid of the parent. They're afraid of the punishment that will come if they do speak up, if they disagree, if they say no to any of that. So it's all fear-based. So the effects that this has on children, on their mental health, their emotional well-being, and their inner world. Let's talk about that. So 7 effects that this has on children. Number 1, low self-esteem. Number 2, fear of making mistakes. Number 3, difficulty expressing feelings, emotions, opinions. Number 4 is anxiety and stress and other mental health issues. Number 5 is people pleasing, because they know the only way that they will get, the only way they think that their parent will be happy with them is by obeying and just doing what they say. So they learn people pleasing. Number 6 is difficulty making decisions, having their own opinions, not sure what to do because their whole life they've been told what to do and just following orders. So they didn't learn to use their own opinions, to use their own brain. And number 7 is weak parent connection. So these children learn to obey out of fear, but they struggle with confidence, they struggle with emotional expression, they struggle with feeling emotionally safe. So those 7 symptoms in childhood will continue on into adulthood, most likely, unless there was some kind of change or intervention or they had some kind of support. So those 7 things usually continue on into adulthood. So how those 7 symptoms will show up in adulthood. Number 1 is low self-worth and self-doubt. Always doubting yourself, not really sure if what you're thinking is right. You're always second guessing, and you don't trust yourself. You have no confidence in your own opinions. Number 2, perfectionism and fear of failure. Number 3, difficulty communicating emotions and needs. So these issues will basically affect all your relationships in life. So maybe you're gonna end up having marriage issues, or even as a parent, you're gonna have issues with your kids, with your co-workers, with classmates. Number 4, chronic anxiety, overthinking, burnout, stress. Because if your whole life as a kid you grew up in that environment where you felt stress, your body will continue to feel stress because you don't know how to relax, you don't know how to calm down and stay calm. Number 5, difficulty setting boundaries and saying no. Again, that goes with people pleasing. So whatever people ask you to do, it's always yes. You're afraid to say no to them because you learned that habit as a child. And number 6, indecisiveness and constantly seeking approval. You're getting your validation, your self-worth from outside, not from your inner self. And so you're always looking for that approval from others. Number 7, difficulty trusting others and forming relationships because you didn't form that healthy bond with that authoritarian parent. Is going to affect your other relationships as well. And so those are the 7 effects that it will have on you as an adult. How to heal and fix these. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'll just list 7 ways that you can fix those 7 problems. But we would have to make another video to really go into those 7 solutions. So number 1 is for the problem of low self-worth, low self-esteem, is to build self-compassion, to recognize your strengths, and to be kind to yourself. You're gonna have to basically reparent yourself and train your mind to think differently because you're in the habit of like whatever your authoritarian drilled into your brain, that's like solidified basically in there. So your goal is to change all that, to change your thoughts, because you have your parental your parents' voice inside of your mind. And so you want to change it, you want to get rid of that and form new positive voices in your mind. So recognizing your strengths, being kind to yourself, having self-compassion. Number 2, practice making mistakes. Know that it's okay. It's not the end of the world, even though you grew up being afraid to make mistakes in front of your parent because you knew you would get in trouble. You have to learn to let go of that and practice making mistakes, embrace mistakes, and learn. And just tell yourself that it's basically a learning opportunity. If you do make mistakes, and it'll only make you a better person if you learn from those mistakes. Number 3, learn emotional awareness. Learn how to express your feelings, learn about different emotions, how to express them, learn how to release those emotions that have been bottled up inside of you. This will take a lot of time because it's been years that you were conditioned not to speak up and express how you feel. So this is going to be something you're going to have to practice for a long time. It's not something that can change overnight, and you may need help. If it's like very severe, your problem, you may need help from a therapist or a counselor. Number 4 is stress management. And this is very important because to break this cycle of this parenting cycle so that you don't end up being like your parent, because stress was basically the main driving force that kind of leads your parents to either become authoritarian or permissive or uninvolved, neglectful, is because when you're stressed out, you can't parent properly. You're stressed out, so you don't have the emotional capability to provide emotional support to your child, and so you don't want to become like your parents. So stress management is important. Learning how to manage your stress, taking care of your physical health, exercising regularly, eating healthy, taking time to be alone, to relax. So all of that. Number 5, practice saying no and setting boundaries. This one was a big one for me because I was just so used to saying yes all the time and just not trying to make people angry. Or I also like confused saying yes and obeying to respect. So if I did say no, I would feel like I was disrespecting the person or my parents or whoever it was. And so learning that having boundaries and saying no to things that you can't do is not disrespect. So that was something that I had to learn the hard way. So setting boundaries and saying no. So just putting yourself first, because you have to understand that if you don't take care of yourself, no one else is going to take care of you. And if you're a parent, you're a mother or a father or a caregiver, you can't take care of others if you're not okay yourself, right? Number 6 is building self-confidence through small decisions. So making a huge decision, maybe difficult at first because you didn't practice that as a kid, like being allowed to have your own opinion, because you had to just do what you were told. And so just practicing little by little, just making small decisions, and yeah, just making that a practice, and journal as you do it too, learning as you go. Number 7 is building safe relationships and healthy relationships. This is very crucial. Your social support, your social network, your village, you need to create that for yourself. You didn't have that as a child. If your parent wasn't there for you emotionally, you need to, as an adult, you have the responsibility to build that network of friends and support. And that's huge, having a social support and social network of people who will lift you up and support you, and you also being there for them as well. And so building that community. So those are the 7 things that you can do to kind of heal and fix the issue of the effects that an authoritarian parent had on you. And if you are an authoritarian parent and you're watching this, like, it's very damaging. So be aware of what you're doing. And I guess that's the first step, of just being aware that what you're doing is wrong, and the way that you're parenting authoritarian is not okay. And even though in some cultures it's seen as normal, not like providing emotional support, and just, you know, yelling at your kid, telling them what to do, and expecting obedience all the time, know that they're their own person too. They have emotions and feelings, and it's very important that you do provide balance, setting the boundaries, being strict, but also having that connection and that warmth, and providing emotional support to your child as well. So that's the first step if you are an authoritarian parent, and just knowing what you're doing is wrong. And then you can learn if maybe it's not something that you grew up with, maybe you don't know how to provide that emotional support, but it's your responsibility to find resources in order for you to change. And these are skills that you can learn, and you can build these skills. And yeah, so that's the end of video number 8. In the next video, I will speak about the other parenting style, which is an uninvolved or emotionally neglectful parent. And that parent is someone who is also not emotionally available, but they also provide no boundaries. So the common denominator between the two is that they provide no emotional support. The only difference is that one is strict and the other one is not strict. So they're completely stressed out. They're out of it. They're not providing rules. They're not providing structure. They're not providing emotional support. But it doesn't mean that they're not there. They may be in the home providing in other ways, like just being there in the home, cooking the food, providing the meals, but they're not present in the home, which is, I think research shows that this kind of parent is worse than an authoritarian parent, because that other parent is at least providing the structure and the rules. But anyway, we'll go more into detail in the next video. So I'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum.